hello and welcome po sa Digital Tayo online training series. So kung nanonood po tayo, maaari nating i-type ang ating location doon sa comment box. At kung ready na po tayo, maaari na tayong magsimula. Again, hello and welcome po ulit dito sa ating Digital Tayo online training series. Ako po si Lay, ang inyong Digital Tayo trainer for today. Ang Digital Tayo program may isang digital literacy program na pinangungunahan ng Facebook in partnership with different organizations, katulad ng Department of Education. This program aims to build a community of responsible digital citizens, especially ngayon sa panahon ng new normal. For our first speaker, we welcome Director June Godoy, DepEd Public Affairs Service, to give his opening remarks. Director June is one of the young executive minds in DepEd today. He introduced fresh direction and ideas to the Public Affairs Service, including the communication work behind the Sulong Edukalidad campaign. His vast areas of expertise includes strategic public relations, digital communications, social media engagement, and youth leadership training. Right now, he is hands-on in assisting DepEd in its transition to the new normal. So without further ado, let me introduce our DepEd Public Affairs Service Director, Mr. June Arvin Godoy. Director June.
Alright, good afternoon sa lahat ng mga nakasubaybay sa hapong ito. Maraming salamat, Lay and Chris and the Facebook team for inviting me to this initiative. We at DepEd are fully supportive of your effort, and we hope to partner more with Facebook for our key priority programs. We have started engaging, and I hope this will be only the beginning, no, of a long-term partnership. So maraming salamat, Facebook. So una siguro, we ask ourselves, bakit napakahalaga ng programang ito? Well, Digital Tayo is a timely initiative at this time when we face a pandemic and physical contact becomes the exception rather than the norm. Now that virtual meetings have become the new normal, no? Our social media accounts are used for most of our daily transactions, keeping up with friends and family, among others. And more people are using social media and modern technologies to ensure continuity in their social lives. But in as much as social media has become a tool for all our needs and has become a mainstay in our daily lives, we need to also reflect and examine closely as to how we use this revolutionary medium of communication. Because at no time in history have we seen the huge impact of technology. So in the age of Web 2.0, much has to be studied and learned by all of us. And a lot has been said about social media and all its evil incarnations. But my personal perspective is that technology often is not the problem, but rather the abuse and our irresponsible use should be our main focus. So any technology that comes our way is always a double-edged sword. Either we use it to its full potential for social connection, or we utilize it for to our society and personal peril. Sa comms theory, no, sinasabi the medium is the message. But now I say it's not entirely the medium, but how we craft our messages and our modes of engagement. So indeed, the global village, which the communication scholar Marshall McLuhan has predicted in the 70s, has become our everyday norm today. Digital media, social media has become pervasive. It is often said that the Philippines nga has is touted, no, as one of the countries with the highest number of Facebook users. So it is imperative that we have to face this new technology together, and we have to ensure that everyone is kept on the same page and are advised about the proper use of digital media in these very trying and interesting times. Digital literacy has become a responsibility that we all need to share. So a global village it is, but a global village such as Facebook has the potential to become the virtual public sphere where all our ideas are spread and rational and critical discussion of issues are encouraged and protected. Where we have the freedom to express, where we don't waive our right to privacy completely, but that is a must that we should. It is a must, I should say, that we should engage responsibly. This is what Digital Tayo is trying to do to make Facebook and other social media platforms as a tool, not used solely for our personal use, but to realize that the phrase social media has the word social attached to it. Social. So more than our personal needs and personal utilitarian needs, I should say, what is important is for us to realize that we are part of the global village. We are co-discussants in the virtual public sphere. We have to take into account that we have our friends, our family, and strangers interacting with us as well. Much like the regular community we live in, we have to be aware of norms and conventions we must observe. So we have responsibilities as citizens of the global village, and Digital Tayo addresses those concerns. So this is just the beginning. This will be a series of webinars of DepEd in partnership with Facebook, and we hope to reach all of our digital citizens to ensure that we become responsible citizens of the global village. We hope that you will join us, not only in this webinar, but in the next online forum that Facebook and DepEd will organize. In this pandemic, we have the time, the luxury of time to sit back and reflect on who we are as citizens in the virtual public sphere. So let this be a start where we look into ourselves in relation to the larger global village. So ultimately, much has been said about change, starting from within. And this will give us opportunity to create positive changes. It's a very trite expression, but I'm tempted to say it. No? Let change begin with us then. Facebook is offering us these programs. Let's make the most out of it. Let's listen and reflect. This is also an opportune time for our parents, our learners, and teachers. Sana marami tayong matutunan ngayong hapon sa ating mga tagapagsalita. Maraming salamat sa pagsama sa amin, sa pagsama sa DepEd at Facebook this afternoon. Stay put. Let's learn together and let's make our virtual global village a place that is safe, not just for our children, our families, but for our entire nation as well. So in these ever expanding and complicated networks and nodes of our virtual lives, it is a must that we manage our digital lives responsibly. Maraming salamat at magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
Wow, ang galing. Thank you po, Director June. Na-encapsulate talaga ni Director June yung essence ng Digital Tayo program. At dahil dyan, our next speaker naman, allow me to introduce Mr. Chris Kuzupili from the Public Policy Manager of Facebook. So, Mr. Chris supports Facebook's policy and business priorities in the Philippines by working closely with government, civil society, and industry partners on creating initiatives to promote digital literacy, online safety, and economic growth. He previously worked at the Supreme Court of the Philippines, where he managed court automation programs and worked at the Department of Budget and Management, where he led digitization and ICT reform initiatives to rationalize government IT resources. So, with that, let us welcome Mr. Chris from Facebook. Chris?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. You can hear me, yes? Allow me to share my presentation. There you go. I hope you can see my presentation now. All right. My name is Chris. I'm Public Policy Manager for Facebook based here in the Philippines. And we're very excited to partner with the Department of Education in this Digital Tayo series where we can actually be, play that part to share what we're doing around safety and protecting our community in the Philippines, and also give everyone some handy tricks and tips on protecting yourselves online. And as Director June mentioned, we are all part of a global village, and we all have a part, we have a role to play in this village to actually build that bright digital future for everyone. And that's pretty much what we will be learning in the next few weeks, that we'll all be together every Friday for this Facebook live series. So allow me first to share with you some information around our investments, and also to share with you our commitment with regard to safety and protecting our very community here in the Philippines. Allow me to share with you a quick update of our community. Just last April, we actually reached our 3 billion monthly active users at Facebook. And when we talk about Facebook as a company, it's not just the Facebook app itself, but also, we have Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp, wherein everyone is having that meaningful engagement online. So given the fact that we have this big community, diverse community, communicating across borders, different languages, it is critical for us that we protect the safety of everyone on our platform. And with regard to safety, we've developed a 5-point approach in making sure that everyone is feeling safe, and so everyone can engage meaningfully online, and also build that positive connections, and all drive positive change. And so for us, the first is policy. So in the first pillar, it's around what you can and what you cannot do on our platform. And for us at Facebook, we call it the Facebook Community Standards. And later on, I'll be able to share with you some of the key policies that we have here, so that everyone can also learn from this session on what they can and what they cannot do. Second is about tools. So we develop tools on Facebook for everyone to control what they can share or what other people can see about you online. We also develop tools for everyone to report content, and also tools to be more proactive in taking and removing bad content of our services. Third is about resources, and it's all about some helpful tips and guide for our community, so they can be more empowered in using our platform and services. Fourth is a very critical part of this approach: partnerships. We know that we need to work with the community, including government, nonprofit organizations, and also safety experts, in making sure that we can improve on the first 3 pillars. So for us to improve on making and tightening our policies, in crafting and developing the right tools, and improving our resources. So this is one of the most critical aspect of this approach, because we can also learn from the community who uses our services to make sure that we protect and we respond to the needs of our community. And then lastly, feedback. So imagining that we have 3 billion people using our services each month, actively using them, it is important for us that we hear from our community, we hear from you, to make sure that we are providing what you need, and we are providing the tools, policies, resources that you need to have that meaningful engagement online. So allow me to share more about this five-point approach. And starting with policy, so we call them Facebook Community Standards. And as I mentioned earlier, we have 3 billion people using our services in different countries, languages, time zone. And it is critical for us to find the right balance in giving people a place to express themselves, and also to protect and promote safety on our platform. And we have here 3 key tenets with regard to how we develop our policy. So first, we have guiding principles, and I'll be able to share with you those principles in the next slide. But let me jump first with the second tenet, which is the operability. So we want to make sure that our policies are enforceable, in the sense that what good is a policy if you cannot enforce it, especially if we have a 3 billion community, right? So we test our policies based on the actual things that we're seeing that's happening on our platform. And then third is about explicability, or making sure it's explicable, that everyone is aware and can actually understand what they can and what they cannot do on our services. So principles, we have these key principles, and safety is our topmost priority. We believe that if people are not feeling safe on our services, they will not go back to they will not use our services. They will not go back to Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, and they will not share, anything online. And we know that with that sharing and knowing that there's that safety within our services, we know that that's the time that everyone can interact with each other and create big things. So safety is topmost priority for us. Second is voice. We give, it is our objective to give everyone a voice, but then we don't want people using their voice to harm others. So we give people voice, but within the boundaries of safety. And lastly is fairness. We have the 3 billion monthly active users on Facebook and across our services, and we want to make sure that when we enforce our policies, we enforce it all over all over the globe and across our diverse community. So these are just some of the policies that we have on Facebook, and as you can see, it's covering a wide range of scope. From financial fraud to self-harm, identity theft, hacked accounts, and we'll be covering some of them in today's session and also in the next few sessions that we have in this series. But allow me to just provide you with some of the key policies that we have that's relating to safety. So first is about impersonation. We do not allow people to misrepresent themselves on our platform. And the thinking here is that when people are representing themselves in an authentic manner online, they are less likely to engage in any abusive behavior. So we prevent all the other abuses just by making sure that they are representing themselves correctly online. Second is graphic violence, knowing that we also have minors on the platform under 18. We need to make sure that we remove content or we don't allow minors to see content that glorify violence. And then we also have policies around nudity, non-consensual sharing of intimate images, so anything around sextortion, we don't allow them on our platform. And we have zero tolerance on sharing of any child sexual exploitation images under any circumstances. So we also take a next step to this, wherein we disable accounts who actually share these kinds of images and content. We also don't allow human trafficking on our services, bullying and harassment. We have specific policies around that. And lastly, around suicide and self-injury, we want to make sure that everyone is safe on our platform and also having that access to the right resources to keep their well-being more positive online. Let me jump to the second pillar that we have, which is all about tools. And when we think of tools, this is again giving the power to our community, making sure that they have that power to be in charge of their online experience. And we've divided this portion with providing tools for our users to be more secured online, to have control of their privacy, their safety, and also their well-being. Just to cover some of the tools that we have here on safety, on security, we have the security checkup. Our next session actually will provide more information on what these tools are. We have privacy controls on our platform, safety controls, and also I think the last piece that's very important is well-being, that allows you to manage the time that you spend online. And to share more information about the tools that you can use about in protecting yourself online, it starts with the basic tools around blocking, reporting, and social reporting. And in the first one, we've run this program quite a number of times already since we launched it in 2019. And what we've experienced is that younger audiences are more in control of their online experience in a way that they would actually use blocking, unfollow, and unfriending more often than adult training participants when we ask them when we conduct a workshop in a room. And it's a good reminder that these tools are available and available for everyone to use. And we encourage everyone to explore, experiment, and just take control of their experience online. And then next is about tools on reporting. And just to share with you how reporting works on Facebook, we gather reports from our community, and then we have a team that review them and remove content if they violate our community standards. So we have trained teams all over the globe working 24/7 to respond to these reports. And recently we've been relying more on technology in terms of how can we enforce at scale and proactively detect content without users having to report every single content to us. So it is an important work for us to make sure that with the diverse community that we have, 3 billion monthly active users, and you can imagine that there are millions of content being shared and posted online. It's critical that as a technology company, we use technology to protect our community and also get bad content off our services. We speak many languages. We speak over 50, our teams speak more than 50 languages covering the globe. And as I mentioned earlier, we have 24/7 support to review the reports that we receive from our community. And then support inbox. After you report something on Facebook or in any of our services, you can actually go to the support inbox to check the status of these reports and also appeal if you don't believe that our decision is, our review is appropriately done. So you can do that and monitor the support inbox. And at Facebook, we try to respond to all the reports that we receive within 24 to 48 hours. And lastly, about this pillar on tools, we've started publishing since 2018 our community standards enforcement report, and this is about bringing more transparency on the work that we do in protecting our community. We want to make sure that the community is aware of how we're making progress in removing bad content on our services in two folds. First, how many content we're removing every quarter, and how many of these contents were removed before anyone reported them. So that shows how we can do our proactive approach and how our technology, machine learning, and AI is supporting us in this work. Third is about resources, and it's all about providing the guide and support that our community needs when it comes to taking control of their experience online. And we have here the facebook.com help center. We have the facebook.com/safety that provides you a lot of resources targeted for parents, for youth, for educators as well. We have that. And then there are specialized content around online well-being and bullying prevention. So you can all go online and check facebook.com/safety to get more information about these resources. And pretty much one of the last few items that I'll cover in my introduction is our partnerships all over the globe. And this is the work that we're really proud of, because we are working with more than 400 safety organizations, working with global, we have global partnerships and also local partnerships with governments such as the Department of Education, Department of ICT, PNP, and other law enforcement agencies to make sure that we are providing the right support for our community. And aside from from tightening our policies, making sure that our tools are in place for our community, we also partner with organizations to empower our community on the right tools and the education and awareness on what they need to do online and how to be more responsible online. And Digital Tayo is one of those partnerships that we're really proud of. We launched this program just last year, April, and since then, it's a program that the goal is really to build that global community, that global village that Director June mentioned earlier, building that responsible digital citizenship. And we have 3 pillars in this program where we want to build awareness, educate our community, and build thought leadership. And we've heard from Secretary Briones how the Department of Education is also leaning towards providing the skills that the 21st century learners need. And pretty much, digital citizenship is one of them. To share more information about the program, we have learning modules around safety and privacy, your digital footprint, and that's something that we will cover today. We also have a module around you as a digital citizen, and also a module around tips for spotting false news and all about the misinformation. And just to pivot on, historically, at least when I was still in school, IP education, computer literacy is all about how you set up your computer, how you connect the keyboard, the monitor, and the CPU. But then at this time, when everyone has access, already has that access to the internet, it's critical that we also teach our students, our 21st century learners, on how they discern whether information is correct or not, or incorrect, or also how they should be respectfully engaging other people online and how they should protect themselves online. And that is the very essence of this program. And these are just some of the partners that we have here in the Philippines. We have more than 15 partners, and we're growing our community of partners to make sure that we reach more Filipinos. Covering parents, teachers, students, overseas Filipino workers, and our low-income communities who also have access to the internet, to make sure that we build that brighter digital future for everyone. And it's critical that, in Director June's message about that global village, again, we all have that role in making sure that we build the digital community that we all aspire. And just being able to educate everyone with these programs and workshops and trainings, it takes us a long way in building that community. So that's actually the last slide that I have. I'll hand you over to Leia again to cover more information on what you can actually do. We want to share with you what we're doing at Facebook, and we also want you to be aware of these tools, and maybe after the session you can experiment and also explore some of these tools. But maybe just a final message for me is, building that digital community is a shared responsibility among us. It's not just a responsibility of Facebook. It's not just a responsibility of our government, but it's a responsibility of each and every one of us, teachers, parents, educators, in making sure that everyone is safe and everyone is engaging meaningfully online. So again, thank you so much. We thank the Department of Education for this opportunity, and we thank you all for tuning in, and we hope that this would be a fun learning experience for everyone.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much, Chris. It's very reassuring kung ano yung shinare ni Chris, especially as a technology company. Naging malinaw sa atin na there were steps taken and there is very proactive policies and tools available for us to be responsible digital citizens. So that is very, very reassuring, especially sa akin din personally as a millennial who are also learning skills to be a 21st century citizen sa online world. So again, thank you, Chris and Facebook, for making this happen, and to DepEd for the opportunity. So for our viewers and learners, I hope you guys everyone is excited to learn more about being a digital citizen. So if you are excited, please type digital tayo doon sa comment box. So maybe digital tayo from the province or from the location you are in right now. Ayan. So thank you very much. And I'm excited to share with you ano ba ang digital citizenship. So there you go. So what is a digital citizen? A digital citizen is a person who has the knowledge and capacity to use digital technologies to understand information online, create positive social interaction, and communicate with other internet users with respect. So very i-emphasize natin na hindi lang pagiging digital citizen yung may access ka to a device with internet o may access ka sa internet. Ang pagiging digital citizen ay understanding ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng pagiging pag-exist sa isang online world, ano ba yung mga information na makikita ko online, at paano ba ako mag-i-interact dito sa online world. Especially and most importantly, how do we communicate and connect to other internet users with respect. And this is very important as Filipinos, diba? With the diaspora of Filipinos all over the world, na Facebook has become a vital role in connecting with our loved ones. And nag-evolve din yung understanding natin and yung skills natin on protecting ourselves. So, what is being a digital citizen all about? So this online training has 3 modules. Yung una is maingat, pangalawa is magalang, you as a digital citizen. At pangatlo is mapanuri or being a critical thinker online. So dun sa unang module, we focus on you and your digital footprint. So this is all about our digital identity. So 'di ba, as people, meron tayong personalities, meron tayong mga hilig, 'di ba? Pero this reflects in our identity online. So ito yung mga posts that we enter, what we share, what we click. This all becomes part of our digital identity, and we will deep dive about this on this module. And pangalawa is, so now that we have an understanding of what is our digital identity, how do we then protect it from those who has access on our digital identity? So ito yung lalamanin ng ating module. And how do we do this? By adjusting our privacy and security settings and taking advantage of the tools that Chris has presented us or gave us an overview in the policy and tools side. Ayan. So bago tayo mag-start, so ngayon na I think you're all very excited. Pero bago tayo mag-start, kailangan muna natin ng pre-test. Ayan, para meron tayong baseline on what our understanding is. So therefore, inaanyayahan po natin ang mga viewers ngayon sa iba't ibang panig ng Pilipinas to open your Facebook Messenger. Ayan, open your Facebook Messenger. Ayan, kunin po ang mga cellphone. Ayan, kinukuha pa sa bulsa. Ayan, kunin ang cellphone at buksan po ang ating Facebook Messenger. Ayan, andito ako sa Facebook Messenger and then type digital tayo doon sa search bar. Ayan, digital tayo and the search bar. Kapag po nahihirapan tayo, you can comment dun sa comment box sa ating live post. Ayan, digital tayo. Kapag nakita natin yung digital space tayo, you click on it and then get started. Ayan. Tapos, pwede natin i-enter yung ating pre-test learn code. Ayan, you can click continue and then pre-test learn code. Ang pre-test learn code natin ay AHALM04. Ayan, 0 po ito, not letter O. Ayan, so 04. Again, it's AHALM04. Ayan. So, bibigyan ko po kayo ng siguro mga 3 minutes para buksan yung digital tayo and then explore it and then answer it bago tayo mag-proceed for the next session. Ayan. Sana may music, no, habang habang nag-pre-test ang ating mga viewers. Ayan. So medyo competitive yung iba kasi meron din tayong post-test. Kaya dapat nakikinig tayo saan mang panig ng mundo tayo ngayon. Ayan. Again, if you have any questions, type in the comment box and then our team will respond to your questions. Kapag nakita na po natin, type digital tayo or thumbs up dun sa ating comment section. There we go. See? Nakita niyo na po ba? Are viewers already answering the pre-test? Are the viewers already answering the pre-test? If yes, please click thumbs up. Ayan, thumbs up. Ayan. Kapag katapos na po tayo sa ating pre-test, type digital tayo para alam namin na tapos na kayo sa pre-test and then we can proceed with the next, with the formal session. Ayan. Ayan. So, go to your messenger and then type digital tayo and then enter your learn code. Ayan. Okay, so kapag nakakita kami ng digital tayo sa comment section, ibig sabihin nakatapos na po tayo sa digital tayo na pre-test. test. Ayan. Huwag pong i-type ang learn code sa comment section. Ang ita-type natin ay digital tayo. Done. Ayan. So, pwedeng done. Pwede rin done ang ilagay sa comment section. There you go. Ayan. Medyo meron ng mga nakatapos na mag-pretest. I hope others are still answering. Ayan. Merong nagsabi, not yet. Ayan, competitive ang ating mga teachers. So, pre-test pa lang, mataas na yung scores nila. There we go. Ayan, nakikita ko yung comments. Ayan, so meron ng mga nakatapos. Meron pa po bang hindi pa tapos na mag-digital tayo pre-test? Sige, let's give 30 more seconds. So, it's just a short quiz. Ayan. Alright. So, meron pa po bang hindi pa tapos? Ayan, marami nang nakatapos. And so, therefore, pwede na po tayo mag-continue sa ating session. Ayan. Okay, so let's proceed. Ayan. So, now, it's time to understand ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng pagiging maingat online. So, first, we have to start with your digital footprint. Ayan. So, narinig na po ba natin kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng digital footprint? Or narinig na ba natin yung salita na to? Footprint kasi parang mga marka ng sarili, di ba? Online. Ayan. So, kung meron tayong mga sinishare online, or mga kino-comment online or mga nila-like online. So ito po ay nagiging bahagi ng ating digital footprint. Nagiging bahagi siya ng ating digital self. So yun yung ibig sabihin ng digital footprint. So natatrack or natitrace kung ano yung nagiging behavior natin online. Kaya naman mahalaga na maging conscious tayo. Maging conscious sa ano ba yung iniiwan kong mga bakas online. Kasi 'di ba, dahil bago lang tayo online, yung iba sa atin siguro parang punta dito sa game na to or punta dito sa site na to without knowing na nagli-leave tayo ng mga bakas online that can be identified towards us. So yun ang number 1 natin. Understanding na meron tayong digital footprint and therefore we have to be conscious about it. Okay, next. So ano ba yung mga information na yon about ourselves na naiiwan natin na bakas? So example nito is your profile and personal information, mga posts, mga messages, what you share and like, ayan. So pwede itong ma-associate sa ating pangalan or sa ating pagkatao. Who has access to this information? So, sa Facebook, pwedeng yung friends natin, yung close friends natin, yung acquaintance natin, yung friends of friends natin, pero maaari din na public. So, kahit sino online. So, yun yung kailangan din tayo maging conscious about. Again, number 1, ano yung iniiwan kong bakas online about myself? At pangalawa, sino yung may access dito sa mga information na sinishare ko about myself. Ayan. So, yun yung mga key takeaways natin. Ayan. Paano ba na-access yung information about us? So, ito yung through the photos, diba, that we share, social media accounts, yung school natin, sino yung job and employer natin, ano yung mga news stories about us, ayan, yung communities and social groups that we belong to. So maraming mga information about us na could be accessible by other people. So ano yung consequence nito? Ang tendency natin is yung iba maaaring mag-overshare. 'Di ba? Parang share dito, share dyan. Kumbaga parang over na. However, may consequence kasi ito. Kailangan alam natin na yung mga sinishare natin online, maaaring magamit din against us, di ba? Pwedeng through criminal activity or ito yung reputation natin na mahalaga for employment, for job hunting, for being part of community groups, for applying. Ayan. So yun yung mga consequence. Kaya ibig sabihin, hindi lang dapat basta share ng share, but also be conscious again on who is viewing it at ano yung pwedeng maging epekto nito sa atin. Yan. At dahil dyan, we have to understand and we have to know or we have to have the skills on protecting our digital identity. Ayan. So I hope this time medyo malinaw yung first part nung session na yun, which is about digital footprint, about yourself and your digital self, sinong nakaka-access nun at ano yung maaaring panganib mangyayari kapag kahit sino ay may access sa inyong personal information. Ayan. Kung malinaw po yun, pwede bang mag-heart or mag-thumbs up doon sa ating comment section? Ayan. Thank you very much po sa ating mga viewers. So now that we have a quick understanding of the risks involved, alamin naman natin, how do we protect our digital identity? Napakahalaga nito kasi sa panahon ngayon, lagi tayong online dahil naka-lockdown tayo, mahirap gumalaw at nagiging mundo natin ang online. And therefore, mas mahalaga ngayon more than ever that we know how to protect our digital identity. So number one is choose the content that you show other people. So sabi nila dapat daw open book ka, 'di ba? Parang 'di ba may ganong kasabihan, be an open book. But actually in the online world, hindi kailangan na ganun ka ka-open book. Kailangan conscious ka and responsible on who you share it to. Pangalawa, be wary of abusive content. Ayan. So merong mga content online na hindi okay. So kailangan din may gawin tayo about it. Conscious tayo about it at may gagawin din tayong action about it. At pangatlo is securing your account. Ayan. So kanina sa talk ni Chris, may mga shinare na siya na tools on how tools available on Facebook that helps us be responsible and tools in securing our account. So ayan. So ito yung 3 points na to. Pumunta tayo dun sa unang point. Ayan. Choose the content that you show other people. So number 1 is be your authentic self. So pero don't be an oversharer, 'di ba, na open book masyado. Ayan. So be your authentic self, meaning don't use fake names or profile and know when to report. Ayan. So ini-encourage na sana totoo yung ating Facebook account name, 'di ba? So wag tayong manggagaya ng ibang pangalan or ng ibang tao. So parang be your authentic self, pero be your authentic responsible self. Ayan, pwede naman 'yon. And then another one is choose your friends wisely. Kapag hindi kilala, hindi kailangan i-add. So wala naman pong competition in paramihan ng friends at ikaw yung pinaka-popular kapag marami kang friends. So maganda rin to for our learners to have that to have that sense of hindi kailangan maraming friends, kailangan you know that you trust that these people will have access to information about you. Ayan. At syempre kapag meron ng unhealthy friends, you always have the power to unfriend, unfollow, and block. Ayan. So, siguro yung iba masyadong polite, 'di ba, na nako, baka naman ma-hurt siya kapag nag-unfollow or nag-block ako. But actually, kailangan din po natin ma-develop yung skill na yon na okay lang mag-unfriend, mag-unfollow, at mag-block kasi you are curating your experience online. So, yun. So, meron kang ability to do that. And then, choose your audience wisely. Especially kapag nag-share tayo ng information. Baka hindi natin alam, lahat ng information na sinishare natin ay public lagi, di ba? At dahil dyan, kailangan alam din natin na internally, meron ding tinatawag na Facebook Community Standards. Ayan. So, napasadahan to ni Chris kanina. So, ano ba yung Facebook Community Standards? So para tong code of conduct or student handbook where naka-outline what is and what is not allowed on Facebook. So these policies are inclusive of different views, beliefs, those of people and communities that might be otherwise overlooked and marginalized. Ayan. So kung gusto natin bisitahin, makikita natin siya sa facebook.com/community standards. Ayan. So, mga experts po sa region at sa buong mundo ang nagka-craft ng ganitong mga standards kasi mataas yung proactive efforts to protect us and protect the platform as well. Alright. So with this content, ano ba yung mga nare-remove? For example, so maaaring ma-manage or ma-remove yung mga content na that goes against the community guidelines at yung mga account ay pwede ring ma-delete kapag you violate the community guidelines in terms of content or yung account. Kunwari hindi siya authentic account or fake account siya. Ayan. So pwede yun ma-remove. So if you do not remove on your own, it may impact then your access to this account. Ayan. So sana iwasan natin or maging responsible din tayo sa pakikipagkapwa natin sa ating mga kaibigan, mga kakilala on being responsible in using Facebook at yung pagiging proactive din sa pagre-report ng mga content na hindi healthy o yung mga account na kailangan report o nagva-violate ng standards. Ayan. So sa ngayon, yung mga account can be removed if after a certain number of violations has been made in an account within a window of time. Tapos like Chris said, nire-evaluate din to ng Facebook yung policy standards na to. Ayan. So sige, punta tayo sa next. Ayan. Kung meron tayong, kung okay sa atin to, naiintindihan natin, pwede tayong mag-thumbs up. Ayan. So, second question natin ay, be wary of abusive content. Ayan. So, kanina sabi natin, di ba, merong mga tao na may access sa ating personal information. Therefore, meron ding mga tao na nagtitake advantage nito. Halimbawa, yung mga scam, di ba, money theft, identity theft, phishing, ayan. So, sana wag natin ibibigay yung ating personal information or financial information. So, medyo sa 1 year, so ako din, anniversary ko na as a digital tayo trainer. Ayan, maraming mga nag-share ng kanilang experiences online na yun nga, nakakakita sila ng mga scam that leads to a bank account or money theft. Ayan. So, yun yung mga abusive content na kailangan tayong maging wary about. Ayan. At kapag nakakita tayo ng ganito, part ng responsibility natin para sa ating kapwa ay i-report ito following the community guidelines. Kasi pag hindi natin to ni-report, maaring iba ang mabiktima. So sana ugaliin natin yung magkaroon ng ganong skill. Kapag mali, i-report. Ayan. Huwag natin dededmahin. Ayan. So next naman is securing your account. Ayan. So doon na tayo sa, okay, so ngayon naiintindihan ko na kung ano yung aking digital footprint. Mas maging conscious na ako on ano yung sinishare ko online kasi may mga taong may access dun sa information about me at yung ibang taong may access sa information about me may take advantage of it. So ngayon, we have to know how to secure our account. Ayan. So, how to secure your account? This is by securing your logging in, logging out, and using strong passwords. So, kung meron tayong mga viewers po ngayon na ang password pa din ay birthday, o ang password pa din ay maikling characters lang, o yung mga madaling ma-hack kumbaga, baka po isipan na natin na baguhin yung ating password ngayon din. Ayan. Or after this session. Ayan. So saan kaya makikita tong mga login alerts and security check-up? So pupunta lang kayo dun sa setting. 'Di ba? Setting dun sa Facebook nyo. Ayan. Meron dyang icon dito. Ayan. So meron tayo ditong, nakikita ba? Ayan. Meron dyang hamburger profile. Tapos pupunta tayo dun sa settings. Yan. Settings and privacy. Yan. Settings and privacy. Tapos pupunta tayo dun sa settings. And then from there, pwede po natin i-explore on your own after this session on how to further secure your account. Ayan. Marami ring types of securing your account. So bukod sa login alerts, meron din tayong two-factor authentication. Ayan. So pwede natin i-explore ito. So again, number 1 na i-emphasize natin is napakamahalaga na you have a very strong password. Kasi, 'di ba, ang weakest link sa privacy, security is yung ating, 'di ba, ating password or yung ating device. Ayan. So especially kapag tayo po ay naghihiraman ng cellphone or may nanghihiram nung cellphone natin. Siguraduhin natin na strong yung password at nagla-log in at nagla-log out tayo. Kung gumagamit ng computer shops, 'di ba? Dapat wala na no kasi lockdown tayo. Pero yun po. So make sure na you have a strong password. Other ways of securing your account is setting your location privacy, checking your privacy settings, and security settings. So, same din po yun. So, pupunta tayo dito sa yung pinakita ko kanina na hamburger icon yung tawag dyan, yung tatlong guhit sa gilid. Ayan, dito. Tapos, pupunta tayo doon sa privacy shortcuts. Ayan. Then, pwede natin daanan yan and then susundan lang natin para mag-self-review tayo ng ating sarili. Ito yung privacy check-up. Ayan. So, dito makikita, malilid tayo nung platform mismo on who can see what you share. So, sino yung mga nakakita nung may access dun sa iyong personal information. So, sa akin, personally, naka-only me. Yan, naka-only me yung aking birthday, naka-only me yung aking posts. Ayan. So makikita niyo po dito, ayan, yung personal information. Ayan. So you can explore this yourself. So sa akin personally naka-only me. Ayan, naka-only me siya. So yun po. So yung iba is keeping your account secure. So katulad ng sino ba yung nakakakita sa ating mga posts or paano ba magkakaroon ng login alerts. Ayan. So yun po yung ating mga titignan. Yung pangatlo naman is how people can find you on Facebook. So yung iba, friends of friends, friends lang ba? Tapos yung inyong data settings on Facebook, katulad ng mga third-party applications na maaaring may access sa account nyo. So siguro po later, i-promise natin after this session, we will do a privacy check-up. And then titignan nating maigi sino yung mga may access sa ating account at tatanggalin natin kung ayaw natin. Yan. So part po ito na we have an agency to protect ourselves. Ayan. So ito yung summary ng mga pwede natin gawin. Again, set strong password, wag birthday, sana mahaba. Ayan, tapos merong iba't ibang characters. May capital, may small, merong mga symbols. Yan, enable login alerts para alam natin kapag may biglang nag-access sa account natin using different devices. Ayan. And then log out sa unused devices katulad ng nakigamit ng computer ng iba. For example, kailangan laging naka-log out. And then do your privacy and security check-up. Ayan. So there. So actually madali lang, 'di ba? So madali lang kapag naging conscious tayo about our digital identity, sinong may access sa identity natin and how to protect ourselves, then medyo kahit papano nagkakaroon tayo ng agency or ng control sa ating digital world or sa ating digital self. Ayan. So dahil dito, magkakaroon din tayo ng mas magandang proteksyon para sa mga possible risk katulad ng money theft, scams, mga phishing, nangunguha ng password, yan, etc. And then, of course, and most importantly, sana hindi lang yung information na to natatapos sa atin, pero especially i-share natin siya lalo na sa ating mga magulang, sa mga lolo-lola, for example, kung may Facebook sila, at sa mga kabataan na mag-uumpisa pa lang, for example, mag-Facebook. This is a 21st century skills na especially right now is super very relevant na protektahan natin yung ating sarili. Ayan. So therefore, ito pong first part na to, maingat, the maingat module, so medyo maingat in a nutshell. Ayan. Ito ay isang part ng 3 module. Yung susunod po na mga module for our online trainings ay magalang at mapanuri. So, susunod to sa mga susunod na stay tuned sa mga susunod na sessions about this. Ayan. So, kung okay po sa inyo, sana i-type ulit natin ang hashtag digital tayo or magiging maingat ako online. Ayan. So, yan. So, it's very, very important na maging maingat tayo online. Ayan. At dahil dyan, gamitin din natin ang hashtag na digital tayo. So, pwede tayo mag-post. Pwede kayong kumuha ng selfie ngayon. Pwede tayo kumuha ng selfie, tapos i-post natin, hashtag digital tayo. Ayan, magiging maingat online. Ayan. At syempre, bago magtapos ang ating session, meron tayong 5 minutes remaining, inaanyayahan po namin kayo na sagutan yung evaluation form. So meron lang tayong very small amount of time for this session. But I hope kahit na mabilis lang yung session natin, is na-capture natin yung essence, which is sarili, yung sarili mong identity online, sinong may access doon, ano yung mga risk involved kapag ka may access yung mga tao sa information mo, and then how do you protect yourself. Ayan. So pwede po natin picturean itong screenshot natin or picturean natin to para masagutan natin yung evaluation form. Bakit ito mahalaga? Makakatulong po ito sa lalong pag-i-improve ng mga digital tayo sessions ng Facebook at ng DepEd. Ayan. And then lastly, kung meron po tayong pre-test, meron din po tayong post-test. Ayan. At dahil may post-test po tayo, babalik ulit tayo doon sa ating digital tayo on Messenger. So same steps, pupunta po ulit tayo doon sa Facebook Messenger. Ita-type po natin, digital tayo. Tapos, ilalagay natin yung ating learn code na AHA-LM04. Ayan. So, ito po ay makakatulong sa M&E din, monitoring din ng learning even in an online setting like this. Ayan. So, I hope po may natutunan tayo at inaanyayahan po namin lahat na gamitin ang hashtag digital tayo at maging maingat tayo online. Ayan. So, dahil dyan, maraming salamat po. Digital tayo. Ayan. Bye-bye po. Thank you so much.